Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great and welcome to this new video. Your middle of the day market update. The US market is opening for the first time in a relatively long period of time in about 9 minutes. So probably when you're watching this video, it has just opened. I expect volatility. I expect quite a lot of movement. I expect bullish movements. All right. So that's what we'll talk about. We'll do a full update on all the possibilities here. I'm a little bit out of breath, not sure. It's a bit humid here in the Netherlands. But we'll talk about Bitcoin, we'll talk about the markets, and then we'll talk about some altcoins as well, or altcoins that I think are interesting. Now, what's interesting to see, first of all, about the market is that a lot of coins right now are starting to correlate a little bit more. Whereas yesterday in the evening, we got some nice bullish momentum. And what we saw then is that a lot of coins were actually starting to perform on their own. So for example, Rune, for example, Sui, but also other meme coins earlier already. So the fact that we're losing that puts a lot of emphasis on this US opening and that it really matters. All right, so that's what we'll see. When we're talking about Bitcoin right now, I said this before. I mean, my thoughts are still the same as this morning, and that is that at least on the 1 hour time frame, we are forming a relatively bullish market structure. Now, I am still a bit cautious, and the main reason for that is that sure, we're forming a nice bullish market structure. It's lagging a little bit, but sure, we're forming that, right? So you can see bullish breakouts, just in general, a bottom formed, bullish breakout, continuation with another bullish breakout, and now we also again bounced from the level we broke above. So that's a textbook bullish market structure. But then at the same point of time, volume is still relatively low right now at $23 billion. And then to add on to that, the momentum, the open interest for Bitcoin is also still relatively low. That's not what you want to see, all right? You want to see an increase in momentum, and you want to see an increase in volume. So that's why I'm still relatively hesitant. I still am, and that's also partially because what I expect on the higher time frames. I still think it's most likely we will be at least able to get back up to 61 and 62,000 from the levels we're at. So I am bullish short term, regardless of those red flags, I would say. But I would still be cautious, all right? So for example, I am long on Bitcoin right now, but still with a relatively low position size. So that's what I expect. But in general, like the main level to keep an eye on as well for invalidation is this level right here at 58,700. Break below that, and I was wrong. And we're probably dropping down lower towards 57 and 56 at least. So know that and be ready for that, all right? The stock markets at this point of time, I would say, are relatively stable. NASDAQ is up a little bit. S&P is down a bit. Russell 2000 is not really doing anything, and US bonds are up a little bit as well. Doesn't matter too much. We will see volatility regardless. So then when we're talking about altcoins, which is always very, very interesting as well, we have no major economic news coming out today. So there's no real news that we that we have to talk about, I would say. But when we're talking about altcoins, there are some things we need to look at. First of all, Sui and Rune, I still think have potential. I jumped into a Sui scalp earlier at like a little bit above $4. I still think this is bullish. Got a big bullish breakout right here, as you can see. And I also still think Sui is bullish. All right, it's trying to go for the retest right here. I do have a limit order, so I'm trying to get into a position on Sui as well. But those are the obvious outperformers. Outside of that, like Sui is quite uncorrelated. Dogs is obviously still a coin you need to keep an eye on, but with that, I would really wait for a strong bullish breakout. And then also Clearpool, which is a bit of a smaller crypto, but it's been on my watch list. It's showing potential. So this is also definitely a coin. If we break above 13 cents, for example, a coin to first of all have on your watch list, but also consider getting into a position. Even though at this point of time, I would say it's too early. And then outside of that, yeah, Aave is also still very strong, but that's it's a little bit of a more difficult coin to really get into. And Solana, for those of you still interested in that, still relatively weak and very correlated to Bitcoin. So those are my thoughts on the market for now. There's not much. See, what will happen if the US actually opens bullish? Like altcoins and certain narratives will pump as well, but make sure to follow me on X if you want to be updated on that, because I cannot really speak on that right now, as the US market hasn't opened yet. So crucial opening. We'll see volatility. Be careful. Be ready for what can happen. Have that altcoin watch list ready. But those are my thoughts for now. So thank you for watching. Take care and bye.